Normally midweek I do a midweek medium, but this week I'm going to discuss some oil pastels, and I'm going to discuss some of the problems surrounding some oil pastels and the brands and the selling of them. But today we're going to have a look at these. These are the Carioca Oil Pastels. So today we're going to discuss these, the Carioca Oil Pastels. I'm going to do a review on them like I would normally do my reviews, but I'm going to discuss problems that us as consumers have to face when we're actually buying oil pastels, or any other art material for that matter. And it's a prominent part of my channel and the information that I try to give you, to the best of my knowledge, that I try to steer you in the right direction. I try to give you all the information according to my opinion of what I consider is good, what I consider is bad, and to lead you up a path where you can make really informed choices. And I think, even before the review, that this Carioca Oil Pastel is going to give me a unique opportunity to do that. So part of the problems that we do face is what are good oil pastels and what are not. And the manufacturers and the brands of these oil pastels all make pretty huge claims, and it's no different to this Carioca Oil Pastel. They are making huge claims. Now, I haven't done the reviewers yet, but we're going to look at that and see if it does suit them. We often see very cheap oil pastels on the market making huge claims, and let's be honest, that is quite attractive in itself, because let's be honest, we all want, well, pretty much something for nothing, but we all want good quality at a cheap price, don't we? And you know, none of us are any different. But do you really get that? I don't think you do. I think if you're going to buy something, then you need to get the best you can afford at that particular time. I'm not saying get the very best, because you don't need to. But what I am saying is that there are claims from very, very cheap oil pastels, and we saw it in my last video about the campus oil pastels, that they are cheap oil pastels, but they're asking astronomical prices, and I don't get that, because some of the worst oil pastels, pro rata, that I've used are quite expensive. The campus, for an example. And again, I invite Raphael to send me some of their oil pastels to see if I've just got a faulty box. I don't think so. So we face all these claims, and we face this obstacle of price over quantity, price over quality, all that sort of stuff, and we don't know which way to turn. And again, like I say, that's part of the prominence of my channel. I did start the Oil Pastel Society channel, because I have started an Oil Pastel Society on Facebook. Please go along and join. I'll be more than happy to see you there, and you know, you can come up with ideas for videos and things like that. I would be really glad for that, actually. But we all want quantity and quality over price, but you're not always going to get that. Sometimes you get devastatingly bad oil pastels and you've still paid a good price, and that's going to leave a sour taste in your mouth. Hence a lot of my reviews, and hence the reason I have lots of oil pastels, and I'm probably not even halfway through reviewing all of them yet. But some of these are going to be bad, some are going to be good, some are going to be expensive and bad, but expensive and good. Sometimes, in the case of the Art Deco, they are going to be very cheap but really good oil pastels. So I take my hat off to Art Deco. I think they've done a fantastic job. Let's get into the review of the Carioca Oil Pastels. As I'm going along, we'll see what they say, and you know, it's the same for all other oil pastels. I'm not picking on Carioca in any sense whatsoever, but it shone out to me like a beacon that there was claims being made, and they're quite expensive as well, and I want to see if they live up to that. Some do, some don't. I hope the Carioca do, but we'll see. So on with the review. So here are the Carioca Oil Pastels. Now I'm going to have a read of the front of this box, going by what I have just been saying to you. So firstly, we have, it says Italian design. Why would it say that? I mean, it's just an oil pastel. The writing looks Italianish, and you know, the name kind of makes you think of Italian, but Italian design, they're actually made in India. So they're actually Indian oil pastels. They're not Italian oil pastels whatsoever. So that's kind of misleading you, right? And it's kind of a bold statement in some ways. So on here, again, it says maxi. Compared to what? I haven't seen any other oil pastels other than a 12 set and a 50 set of these. So what are they maxi compared to? There's no way of knowing. So it's kind of leading you down a garden path of thinking that these are fantastic Italian design maxi pastels. You know, and that's great. They have to sell their oil pastels, but you want to know that this is the quality that you're getting. And then on here, it further says premium quality. Now bear in mind, I don't know what these are like yet, so they may be all these things. And on here, it says super soft. Well, again, 4 things within a 2-inch space, or a 2 by 6 inch space, really promoting these oil pastels. So you're really going to look at these when you're looking to buy them and think these are fantastic. And quite rightly so. But of course, when you get them, they may not be. Now further down the packet, it says brilliant colours. Well, how can you tell? And it says high covering. Well, if they're super soft and high covering, premium quality, Italian design maxi pastels with brilliant colours, you are really expecting these to be the bee's knees. However, all you're looking at is usually, I would say, a screen, or even just the front of a packet in a shop. And that's kind of, there's no mention of light fastness. So you would think with all these things, they would say something about light fastness and be light fast. And you have to consider that these are actually quite expensive pastels. I just saw a 12 set on Amazon UK for £12. Now for me, that's quite expensive, I would say. So you would be talking about 72 pack, if they did such a thing, being in the region of £72. Now that is up there with the very best oil pastels on cost and price. So anyway, and you know, you can't blame them for trying to sell their oil pastels. And let's hope they are what they state they are. We will know in a few minutes. So on the back it says, obviously oil pastels, it says easy, further representations of how good they are. It says easy to blend, soft writing, well, drawing I would say. I mean, they are Indian, they do come from India. So sometimes we have to assess the difference in languages. So it says super soft, in small writing this is, super soft, high covering colours and easy to blend. Well, in a very, very short sentence, the big representation to make, to be used on paper, cardboard, all the normal things, brilliant colours, resistant to light. Doesn't say light fast, it says resistant to light. Well, if I was to shut them away in a dark cupboard, yes, they would be resistant to light, wouldn't they? But it doesn't say that they are light fast. Now, do you feel they are light fast when it says resistance to light? I'd probably feel they've got some resistance to light, but they're going to fade. That's my opinion, and that is only my opinion. Big representations on there, but look at this packet. If they're such good oil pastels, why would they be in such a flimsy cardboard packet? Now I'm going to get a packet I've already opened. Here. Very thin, very flimsy cardboard. So if these pastels are as expensive as they are, and as good as what they are representing they are, why are they not in a better packet? Nobody wants to buy oil pastels in a packet like this, so let's take them out. Again, poor quality of packaging is on the inside as well. Not even a plastic tray, it's a cardboard tray without segregation of the oil pastels. And as you can see, these were only opened today. They're all marked up and things like that. So all these representations they've made, and they're not even trying to look after you or the pastels. So, you know, you have to take all that on board, and that's what I'm here for. So looking at the pastels themselves, they are a decent size. They are not small, but they are not large either. They're 10mm, so they're kind of getting up to the larger sides, but not as large as, say, your Montmartres or things like that. And the white looks very off white, and the colours, well, I'd say that quite boring, to be honest with you. I would like to think that the 2050 set would be a lot better than this, but of course I won't know until or if I ever get any. But I suppose it's a fair representation of colours. You've got orange, red, yellows, greens, blues, purples, and you've got one of each. But what you want to know, given all these representations that they've made, is how are these going to blend? I'm not very hopeful, if I'm being honest. So look at my paper here. This is from when I did the campus oil pastels. Could imagine if you did a picture with them, what you'd be left with now, wouldn't you? Just to keep things normal, I'm going to use the purples. And I'm going to be honest, I feel they look cheap, and they kind of feel cheap in my hands. They're not soft. They're definitely not soft. So let's just... Hard. Waxy. We're getting crumbles. Not much. But these are going to... Oh yes, we are now. Now, the harder I started to press, the more these started to crumble. These are going to pill something chronic, I think. You can see there's already an uneven distribution of oil pastel. And just press a little bit lighter. Not good. Better than the campus, but not good. Not as good as Pentel, I would say at this point. Cool, they are hard. They are very hard. Look, that colour isn't even layering on that colour. They're getting these little crumbles. They really are very transparent. And I'm having to press quite hard just to get that colour on there. And it's pilling up and waxing up. Not very good at all. So I'm deliberately going to use a darker colour here. If you were to do a straightforward colouring, I don't think you'd be very happy with these at the moment. Let's just see what they blend like. They're not blending out very well at all. Let's just zoom you in a little bit so you can see what's happening. You can see that you're ending up with thicker pieces and thinner pieces, and that's not a very acceptable blend in my book. And the more you try to blend that out, the more you're getting this kind of, it's like it's scratching it off the top of the surface. I mean, it is nowhere near as bad as the campus, but for the price you'd expect a lot more than this. Now, it's blending into that colour quite nicely, but it seems very transparent, and I really don't think we're going to be able to layer these up. It's scratching the pastel off the paper as such. I've just changed the cotton bud round, and you can see how transparent it's looking. It's just, that's not going to layer up at all. It's just digging into the texture of the paper. It's looking quite a nice blend, I suppose. But other than that, I don't really think you're going to get much out of these. Let's just try and put another layer on. No, the pastel is just scratching into the layer that's already there, so you can't even layer these. Let's just try the purple. Again, no, look, I just pulled off a bit. Look, if I press hard, well, not that hard, but a little bit harder, you're getting white lines in this. So it's just literally scratching the oil pastel off. The claims that they've made, I would say they're not fantastic colours. They're certainly not brilliant colours. They are definitely not super soft. They are definitely not premium quality. They are definitely not high covering. And I would suggest that they're probably not resistant to light that well either. I mean, look, we're getting all this crumbling off of here. Let's look at the pilling. Yeah, it's just congealing in a different way. It's not. There's not enough oil pastel on there to actually pull down, but it is congealing in spots where it has layered on a little bit better. These are pretty poor oil pastels. So 2 weeks, 2 poor oil pastels. If you were to use these, I would suggest that the only way you could use them would be for underlayers. They wouldn't be any good for anything else. They are dreadful. And just because I'm here and just because I can, I'm going to try and put the white over. No, it's just scratching into the oil pastel. Look, it's doing nothing. Look, that is hard. Thank heaven I bought a few sets of these cheap, about half price. But even then I wouldn't pay that if I'd known what I know now. Oh my word, they were bad. They were really bad. They are nowhere near as good as the small Pentels. They are better than the Campus, but by a minuscule amount. They are one of the worst oil pastels I think I've ever reviewed. And yeah, that's a bit sad really, because all the claims that they made and the expense of them especially, you would want better. But you know, as soon as you see that box, you're not going to get anything very good. Having said that, Rico pastels come in a cardboard box and they are very good. They could actually get a better box and still have a very good pastel. So anyway, I hope you like that review. Don't be fooled into anything on these. Have a look at my videos first to see if you can find the oil pastel you want. I pretty much have most of them. And then you can make an informed decision and you will not waste your money, hopefully. But that's my opinions. You may like them, I can't say. So while you're here, please have a look at my membership levels. I only have one at the moment. I did have 3, but I've changed it to 1. To make it very accessible. It's only £1.99 a month, and you'll get a loyalty badge the longer you're with the channel, and you will get emojis that you can use. These are special emojis that only you can use, and I'm going to design some special ones myself. You will also get priority reply to your comments, so I should never miss any of your comments, and if I do, please tell me. At some point I'm going to bring along another level, probably offering critiques and things like that. Please subscribe to the channel. There is a good majority of people watching my videos but not actually subscribing. If you subscribe, it helps the channel, and please like and please do comment, because all these things do help the channel and it helps me to bring further recommendations and reviews and tutorials to you. So whomever, wherever you are, please have a great day, a great week and a great year, and please look after yourselves. Bye for now.